Welcome back to study session 8. We will continue with our chapter 5 homework review. This is question 10 of 20, and this one is not a mathematical question, so it's a bit faster to answer this one. We need to match the following statements to the appropriate term. In this case, the statements are signifies perfection based on assumed rather than actual result, type of problem common in bottom-up budget environment, the most efficient method of budget preparation, the first component of the master budget operating budget, right, shows when and how much cash is expected to be collected from the sale of product or services, a budget which always includes 12 months of data, but as 1 month's end it is removed from the budget, also referred to as the bottom-up budget, the final component of the operating budget, and represents a level of performance that can be attained with reasonable effort. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm just going to give you the answers for this one, because there is no way to solve it. These are just ones that you have to know. If it signifies perfection, it's an ideal standard. If it's based on assumed rather than actual results, it's a pro forma financial statement. A type of problem in common with bottom budget environment is the budgetary slack. The most efficient method of budget preparation is the top-down budget. The first component of the master budget is the operating budget. Shows when and how much cash is expected to be collected from the sales or products or services is the cash receipts budget. A budget which always includes 12 months of data, but as 1 month end is removed from the budget is the rolling budget. Also referred to as bottom-up budget is the participated budget. The final component of the operating budget is the ending inventory and cost of goods sold budget, and it represents a level of performance that can be attained with reasonable effort. That is the practical standard. That's question 10. A lot of these are going to be more theory questions. If you want theory questions, here's that. Question 2 is this one. Preparing a budget allows managers to, and the options are plan for future, assess whether a division's strategic direction is in line with correct strategy, reduce the need for knee-jerk responses to unexpected situations, and the last one is all of the above. In this case, the answer is all of the above, because this is literally what it lets you do. The preparing a budget allows you to plan for everything, and it allows you to make decisions not on the fly, but rather decisions that are already planned out. The next question is, which of the following is not a characteristic of the top-down budget environment? So let's pull it up here. Control copy, control paste. The correct answer is this one. This approach is referred to as participative budget. This is not a characteristic of the top-down. This is the bottom-up. The top-down budget is the executive management created the budget. The budget is pushed down through the organization, and all of the answer choices are characteristics of the top-down budget environment. This is wrong as well, because this one is technically not, so this is the correct answer. The one that's highlighted, okay? Moving on. Question 13. Wow, we got a lot more of these, which are much nicer, I guess. Control copy, control paste. A bottom-up budget approach is also referred to as participative budgeting, imposed budgeting, responsibility budgeting. None of the above answers are correct. In this case, it is a participative budgeting, because from the bottom up, the bottom, which is the workers, then participate in making the budget. And that's how you answer that question. I know it sounds pretty simple. The truth is, it is that simple. You just need to think about it for a few minutes. Question 14, another one that is not mathematical. Don't like this one, but sure. Which of the following is a disadvantage of participative budgeting? And the answer is that it is both time-consuming and managers can pad the budget. That is obvious. And if it's not obvious, then I recommend you check the lecture slides. There's a whole explanation there. This only really goes out to students who are taking the exam. If you're not taking the exam, then the reason is simple. And it can be said that it wastes time, which is obvious why that's a bad thing. And that managers want to make themselves look good, so they purposefully ask for more money than they actually need, so that when they use less of it, they look impressive. Okay. Up next is question 1, 2, 3, Question 15. Deviations from the budget may occur because of, and the answers that are given are bad decisions, events beyond the company's control, good decisions. All of the above answer choices are correct, and the answer is, well, this is a simple one as well, that all of the above answer choices are correct. Deviations from budget can always occur from this. If a bad decision occurs, and you might have to spend more. If a good decision means you spend less, and events beyond the company's control, such as a recession or a war. That's, I know, I'm making this sound super simple. That's because it is. Control copy. Question number 16. A manager estimates that revenues for the coming period will be $85,000, but includes only $80,000 in her budget. This is an example of control copy, control paste. An example of budgetary padding, because revenue slack is not correct, pro forma variance is not correct, and none of the above answer choices is not correct, because the answer is budgeting padding. We were talking about this earlier. Okay, this was the correct answer here, therefore budgetary padding gives the answer away. Question number 17. Direct material standards specify both what exactly? That's a good question. Is it quality and usage? Is it quantity and price? Is it quantity and efficiency? Or is it efficiency and price? And the answer is quantity and price. Because quality is a really subjective term. Usage depends on what you're using it for. Quantity and efficiency, this is just incorrect. And efficiency and price is just incorrect. The next one, time needed to produce 1 unit of product is referred to as, does anyone know it? Is it the direct labor efficiency standard, the direct labor time standard, the direct labor quantity standard, or none of these choices are correct? The answer is the direct labor quantity standard. Because time standard, you would think it'd be time standard, but because it says time needed for 1 unit, this is a quantity. Okay, if it was just time needed to produce all of them, it would probably be time standard, but no, it's quantity because we need to know how many. In this case, it's 1, but it could be any number. Okay, that's why. The calculation for the standard direct labor cost is, who knows the formula? I'm not even going to give you the other ones because that's just going to confuse you. I'm just going to tell you what the answer to it is, just to save everyone time. It's the standard wage rate per direct labor hour multiplied by the standard quantity of direct labor hours. That's the formula. If you can remember this formula, then you're pretty much golden. And then on to the final question. How sad, we didn't get to use the actual writing. We need to type everything here because this is a completely boring one. The overhead is typically divided into which of the following components? Does anyone know? Does anyone know? Is it fixed and variable? Is it direct and indirect? Is it controllable and not controllable? Or is it product and period? If you guys watch part 7, you would know that when we were calculating the overhead, we were using fixed and variable components. But that's just more of a given rather than anything else. That'll be the end for the chapter 5 assignments. I know, kind of simple at the end of the day, but that's the case when you have a bunch of really hard math problems in one of them and a bunch of really simple multiple choice problems in another one. So for chapter 5, I say thank you.